Mr. Chairman, thank you very much for the opportunity to take a call. May I also put on my green bandana and show my support for Canteen, young people living with cancer this week, and really acknowledge the work of many of the young people who also work with other young people who are suffering from cancer. Mr. Chairman, this is really a very important bill. It's a crucial bill for New Zealand because it addresses such a serious issue in our homes, in our society, and in our communities, and that is the problem of domestic violence. And it does address a large number of aspects of that to do with children, and I'll come to that as I speak to particular clauses. There are too many lives affected when it comes to domestic violence in our country, and having worked in this area for a long period and having led the Families Commission through the It's Not OK campaign, and doing the work behind that, one begins to realise what a serious issue this is in New Zealand society. And any piece of work that the government does, and any piece of work it has done to reduce violence in our society, to address it, has been strongly supported by this side of the House. And we only need to consider that in 2008, 82,692 incidents involving some form of domestic violence occurred. Those are astronomical figures. 4 to 10% of New Zealand children experience physical abuse. These are the kinds of matters that the provisions of this bill actually does address. And 2007, 6,400 children were involved in the applications for protection orders, a major aspect of the provisions of this bill as well. And our performance compared to other OECD countries, particularly when it comes to child deaths, is abysmal. And the amount of the cost of this to the country, as evaluated by Every Child Counts, is over $2 billion. So, Mr. Speaker, it's an important bill for those particular reasons. And the bill makes a number of important provisions, and it does bring together and makes changes rather to at least 3 acts in order to protect children who are victims of this domestic violence. And Clause 6 amends Section 16 of the Domestic Violence Act 1995, making clear that a protection order applies for the benefit of a child of an applicant until the age of 17. And that's an important, unless the order is discharged. And the Select Committee recommended amending Clause 6.2 to provide that a child of the applicant's family would not be required to apply to the court for a direction that the protection order continue to apply for his or her benefit after turning 17 years of age, while they continue to continue to ordinarily or periodically reside with the applicant. Now, there is an important SOP here to change that to the age of 18, and also the second SOP from Lynn Pillay is to say really that should extend to when a child is ready. And those are very, very important aspects of this bill that is missing at the moment. It's shortcomings. And as the previous speaker, my colleague Jacinda Ardern, said, that this is an opportunity, Mr. Chairman, to address those aspects of the bill. And again, the Minister and the Chair needs to explain why that is not possible and what are the difficulties with that, because it is an important opportunity to actually explain that. The bill also amends Care of Children Act 2004, and perhaps the most satisfying aspect of the provisions here, Mr. Chairman, is really the inclusion of psychological abuse now. And this is one of those silent killers that one sees so often, and yet because it has no marks and no visible signs of abuse, there are few provisions to actually address that. And knowing now that it is going to be one of the important aspects that the Family Court will need to take into account is also an important aspect of this particular bill. I'm also pleased, having worked in the adoption area myself over the years, that it does address some of the issues in the Adoption Act and will address some of those international matters that need to be addressed, and I'm pleased to see that as well. But perhaps the disappointment of this bill, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, is that it hasn't taken the opportunity for a comprehensive examination of this matter. Thank you.